Hey, how you doing? My name's Samuel Leeds and I'm a property investor, and in this video I wanted to give you my 5 top tips for being a profitable buy-to-let property investor. So tip number 1 is when you're buying a property and you're buying it to hold on to it and rent it out, I would always say try and find ways that you can add value to the property. So for example, if the outside looks a bit shabby, it might only cost £500 to paint the outside, but it might add £2,000 worth of value to the house. So for every £1 that you spend, you want to be getting £3 back, or lifting the property £3 in value. So that's tip number 1. How can you add value to your buy-to-let property? Tip number 2 is to run a successful, profitable buy-to-let property company is to find the tenants yourself. I know I'm a very systemized kind of person. I speak a lot about systemization on my other YouTube videos. Letting agents often charge a lot of money to find a tenant, to vet the tenant, to move the tenant in. You can be talking hundreds and hundreds, sometimes even thousands of pounds, depending on the property. So what I would recommend, a little trick for you guys, is go to a website called openrent.co.uk and you can list properties yourself on OpenRent very inexpensively. Now when you do that, the property will be then featured on rightmove.co.uk through OpenRent, which is going to give it masses and massive of exposure. Not only that, but when you have a letting agent advertising your property, they're getting inundated every day from all kinds of requests from tenants trying to view properties. Whereas you, if you get called about this property that you've put on, you only have one house. So every tenant that calls you, you're going to be trying to sell this house to them. So I think advertising a house yourself through openrent.co.uk, it's certainly going to mean that you're going to save money from paying a letting agent, but it's also going to mean that you can probably get a tenant in better and faster, and you can do all the references, all the checks as a letting agent would do. You can do that through openrent.co.uk. Tip number 3 is find a good tenant. For goodness sake, the only thing that's worse than no tenant is a bad tenant. You do not want bad tenants. So again, if you're using OpenRent, and you can vet the tenants yourself, not only on the references and the credit checks, but you can also physically meet them at the property and you can see, do I like this person? Does this person seem to be a good, reasonable, clean human being that I would want living in my property? Or do they seem like they're on the run and they're shabby and they've got 21 cats and 3 dogs? Not that there's anything wrong with cats and dogs, but you'll get a real sense rather than just looking at a piece of paper. Do you like the tenant? Because I tell you something, you want to make sure that you put a good tenant in your house. My properties that on paper are now doing the best, that are giving me the best return on investment, it's always the case. They've got the best tenants. They've had the same tenants in for many, many years. So find good tenants. Tip number 4 is give gifts. Give gifts. What do I mean by that? The agent who found you the house, give them a bottle of wine. Your tenants that are paying you your rent, give them Christmas gifts, send them cards, because a gift, well, it might only cost you 10 or 20 pounds, but believe me, when you're in the property investment game, a gift will go a long way. Buying a £20 bottle of wine for an estate agent that found you a good house might mean that they phone you next week with a property which has got a £20,000 discount on it, just because you were thinking of them and they like you. Buying your tenant a Christmas card or some chocolates and saying thank you for being a great tenant could be the difference between them staying in your property for 10 years or 2 years. It could be the difference between when they leave, them leaving the property a bit messy and untidy, or doing viewings for you, making your life really easy for £20. So it's one of the best investments you can make in property, is giving gifts to people that have helped you in your journey as a property investor. Number 5, when you've added value to your property and you've found your own tenants and you've moved them in and they're good tenants and everything's going well, always try and refinance the house. I think don't leave equity sat in properties. Most people say I'm going to pay the mortgage off as fast as possible. That is actually not very smart, because debt shrinks over time. You're best to avoid paying off the mortgage. Let the debt shrink over time, because money shrinks in value as inflation goes up, and then refinance as often as you can, and then use that equity to buy more properties. You've got leverage to make a lot more money. So those are my 5 top tips to how you can be a profitable property investor in the UK buy-to-let market. If you enjoyed that, please do subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button and leave your comments below, and I'll try and answer as many as I possibly can. Thanks so much.